Okay, so we are broadcasting from the Bozard Ford Lincoln Studios at WFOY, Bozard Ford Lincoln, driven to inspire. First Friday, we're here, and we welcome you to Affordable Housing Matters, a program on local housing presented by WFOY on the first Friday of the month, sponsored by the St. John's Housing Partnership, and produced in cooperation with the Mike Bonce Public Relations. Got that right, guys?
Yep.
Okay, I get a point. Today, Bill Lazar, that's two, Executive Director of St. John's Housing Partnership, is talking with Devrie Paradowski, that's three.
Yes, thank you.
Oh,
He's
look
good.
at that. Housing Program Manager for Flagler County. They'll be discussing programs to preserve and expand the availability and affordability of housing, including funding and community support. Ladies and gentlemen, it's all yours.
Thank you for this opportunity. We really appreciate it. We invited Devrie here because she basically manages a county that's contiguous to St. John's. I point out on numerous occasions that for the last 20 years, Flagler County has been providing housing for many of Duval County's teaching professionals because they could find less expensive homes there than here. But she manages their housing program there, and so I wanted her to be able to come and talk a little bit about what they are doing in Flagler County, and if she's looking for contractors or people to help or anything else, she can tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, thank you. So we're kind of getting up and running in Flagler County with trying to preserve housing. That's a big priority for us. So we are looking for general contractors to help us build and repair homes in Flagler County using our SHIP funds. And we're really trying to mitigate homes too, so we'll probably be going after funds that will help protect homes from storms.
Did y'all have a lot of damage from either Hurricane Ian or Nicole?
In our county, we had a lot of coastal areas that were flooded, so we didn't have some of the damage that you saw like in Volusia County, but we did have a lot of flooding and a lot of people that were displaced. But it wasn't really impacting to our knowledge, so if anybody is in low or very low income categories, we didn't have a whole lot of those people coming to us looking for help.
One of the things I found with some of the hurricane stuff is everybody who who does have damage to their home usually applies to FEMA.
Yeah.
FEMA gathers that information, and FEMA doesn't always tell them how to contact the local housing agencies, so sometimes it's a little bit of a struggle. There is also now there's a website, Ian Recovery, that Florida DEO or Volunteer Florida operates, where folks who've got some money from FEMA can go and they can apply there because either they couldn't afford the deductible for their insurance policy or insurance didn't cover everything. So there are some opportunities, but the big issue is just getting the word out and letting people know that there is some help out there. And y'all are a perfect example. If someone calls you, whether you've got funds or not, you can probably help them figure out how to get to the right place.
Yeah, because we just spoke with someone from the SBA yesterday about some of the loans that they can provide for insurance deductibles, and those might be some of the people that we wouldn't be able to help because of the income guidelines. But we do have a little bit of help to help repair homes if you've been impacted by Ian or Nicole through, but you would apply through flaglercounty.gov/SHIP. So you can do an initial application there for that, but we are interested in finding out these other things. On a side note, I will say we did speak to a FEMA liaison, and one of the things that they noted about Flagler County is we really don't have a lot of nonprofits or anybody that do repair work or rehab jobs in the county, and that's kind of the song that we've been singing this whole time. So we provide the funding, and then we have to kind of put it out to general contractors and find people who are able to work with us to do that work.
So if I'm a licensed contractor, I can either be county registered or state certified. I would call what number to find out about your program?
Yeah, you could call area code 386-586-2324 and extension 3616. You can also go to our county website, flaglercounty.gov/SHIP. That's for the State Housing Initiative Partnership. And you can do an initial application so that we know that you're interested in working with us.
About how many homes a year are y'all working on?
Right now, we've got more funding than we used to have because of the recurring funding initiative.
The state quit stealing the housing trust funds.
Yeah, so we do have more money than we're used to having under that program. So we're probably going to be doing between 10 and 12 homes with that, and then we'll try to get some other fund sources to do other types of home rehab.
All right. So again, if you're a licensed contractor working in Flagler or willing to work in Flagler, Devrie has projects that they're going to put out to bid, and they need contractors to apply. So please consider giving them a call.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about some of the folks that you help with the SHIP program. You know, some people aren't aware of what SHIP can do.
Yeah, so we focus on homeowners in Flagler County. They're usually very low or low income. So if you go to our website, you can see what that means. It's based on the area median income for Flagler County. And so we focus on our essential services as a priority. So we look at people who are educators, healthcare providers, first responders, and people involved in the skilled trades or building industry, because we want people doing that work.
We need them to work on
Yeah, we
the
need it
house.
for our housing, so we focus on that, and we just want to preserve the whole home, so we'll send out St. John's Housing Partnership to give us a scope of work, and then we want the work to be done to make sure that home lasts for a while.
Yeah, because these days one of the big challenges coming up for a lot of homeowners is the cost of insurance policies.
Yes.
You know, we're seeing all of our insurance go. Our rental insurance policies have gone up 300% in the last month.
Wow. Yeah, if we were getting a lot of calls for people saying that their insurance companies were going to drop them because they couldn't replace their roofs. So we've developed a roof strategy.
Great.
And so our thought is it's easier to find roofers to get the work done, and that helps preserve the housing long term, because if the roof is not working, then it's not good, but it also helps us to stop people from entering a situation where they may be facing foreclosure because they can't get insurance.
Afford a roof.
Yeah, because they can't afford a roof.
That's great. So y'all have got that in place now?
Yes.
That's super.
Yes.
Yeah, because especially for seniors on a fixed income, when it comes up and the insurance company says, well, we can insure you if you replace the roof. And in cases, the roof's not even leaking, it's just 10 or 12 years old, and they're saying, we want it replaced, and it can be $5,000 to $10,000. And if you're strapped for cash, it just gets worse, because if you can't get the insurance and you've got a mortgage, it goes to the bank's going to do what they call forced place insurance. And then at that point, all you do is get a policy to cover the mortgage, not your house.
Yeah.
Let's see, 1 minute.
One more, okay.
Keep talking.
So, well, that's a lot of, I think, what SHIP has always been for, is trying to sort of help people meet those gaps, figure out how to stabilize, whether it's a working family or a senior. But in either case, that's what y'all been doing a lot. And you're located with the social services?
Yeah, it's the Health and Human Services Department. So we work with senior services and human services, and it's a good spot to be.
So you can kind of get the whole village wrapping their arms around someone if they need it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I know there's a lot more information. We're going to go have a few words of wisdom. Not that you're not full of wisdom, but there's more. And we'll be back right after that, more with the St. John's Housing Partnership, right here on the first Friday on News, Sports, and Talk, WFOY. Please stay with us.
What we do, run through half of it already?
Yeah,
Goes fast.
you don't even realize how quickly it goes. It just goes.
It's not enough time to go over all the things. Really.
Well, after the break, there's give or take another 10 minutes or so in that ballpark.
Talk about some of the other partnerships you have. Give credit to some of your partners who are helping you with housing counseling or Habitat and what they're doing. It's people don't always realize just the breadth of what you can impact on, whether you're doing it directly or not. They really rely on you to get out and help people in the community.
Yeah, in fact, we're going to a dedication on Friday, home dedication
Cool.
for Habitat. So
Habitat does about how many homes a year there?
they used to do up to 10. But with cost right now, they're maybe doing 3 or 4.
And are you using SHIP funds to help them?
Yeah, with the way that they're structured, we don't get construction loans, we just provide like
That down payment assistance, which is about how much per house?
45.
And you don't have impact fees now? Or you do?
What do you mean?
Impact fees.
It is impact fees.
How much are y'all's impact fees?
I don't know. I have to look it up. Depends on where you're building.
Depends on in county or in the city.
Today with 2 journal entries. The first from the concerned wife.
So do you get any conversations with the chamber about affordable housing? Are they, so, I mean, at the state level, they're all talking about it. I don't know how it drills down in every community.
I haven't had any conversations. It looks like there have been conversations, but I don't know. I know at the state level I saw, but I didn't see anything local.
Because I always figure those are the folks that could be advocating to help your program, especially like, on some of the ideas of what the AHAC committee does, which is, so what about our surplus lot inventory, and the chamber going, well, gee, that really could help, if there was something. I mean, the hard part is most of what gets put into the surplus inventory are individual lots. So you can't have a real big impact if you've got a lot here. I mean, you can have an impact on one person's life if you turn that into a home. But trying to get a piece of property that could be some kind of multifamily development, which would really help the retail workers, is a lot harder.
Yeah, it seems like location-wise and fund source-wise, it's a major challenge for us.
It's for everybody.
We're Sergeant Service Center. Need your vehicle repaired or serviced? We got a courtesy shuttle that can pick you up.
I drive a Jeep. I always need my vehicle repaired and serviced. I just like it. Years ago, I bought a '56 Willys Jeep.
Oh, I worked on one of those once. You can sit on the fender and put your beer and your feet and your hands all on the body, and you can tune it up and everything.
I had a hydraulic snowplow. I was in upstate New York.
Oh, Lord.
It saved my life many times. Then there were times.
No, I've heard of things like that.
Yeah. But
It's kind of like sand, but it falls from the sky.
those, you're in trouble when the snowplow, the regular snowplows, are off in a ditch somewhere, and they have to get these snow eaters out to free everybody.
My son's in Colorado, and he says out there they quit using salt because they felt it was bad for the environment, so they've got some kind of a chemical spray they use.
Oh, that's of course good for the
It turns the snow to slush, which immediately freezes, and then they have iced over roads.
Stand by. I would like to meet the brilliant people that thought of that. Because we could use them in Washington. There's not enough brilliant people like that. Oh. I'll be good. (8:49) at WFOY. Welcome back to the St. Johns County Morning News. It's the Affordable Housing Matters program. Now listen, you can make a difference in what has become an affordable housing crisis in our county. Our workforce, ranging from teachers to first responders and restaurant workers, are not able to find decent, safe, affordable housing in one of the most prosperous counties in our state. The elderly and local businesses are also suffering. Now, here's how you can help. If you have property or land, contact the nonprofit, the St. John's Housing Partnership. If you are not in a position to donate for affordable housing, SJHP can possibly purchase and build affordable housing for community members. You can also make a cash donation or bequeath a gift. SJHP can give you further information about the tax and financial benefits of these and other gift methods. Visit www.sjhp.org. And now back to Bill Lazar, Executive Director of St. John's Housing Partnership, and Devrie Paradowski, Housing Program Manager for Flagler County.
Thank you, sir. Well, Devrie, one of the things that I've seen, that the Housing Partnership has been working in St. Johns County for 25 years, and we got our start because local government encouraged us and said, we need help doing whichever, housing counseling, home rehab programs, we need help. You have the same kind of relationships with some other nonprofits in the area. Talk about who some of your business partners are down there that help you with your mission.
Yeah, so that's a great question. We are working a lot with Flagler Habitat for Humanity. It's a small habitat affiliate, and they're small but mighty, we say. So they do a lot of home building for us, and we work with their homeowners, but they also do a lot of community initiatives in Bunnell, in the city of Bunnell. So they do more than just building homes and providing some repairs, and we're starting to work a little bit more with them. So they do great for our community. We have other nonprofits that we've worked with as a department, and even through housing. One of them is Flagler Cares. They helped us with a house. We actually helped somebody enter into home ownership who was experiencing homelessness. So it was a situation that we never thought was going to be possible given the housing market. But through a multi-tier collaboration, through a couple of other nonprofits, including Flagler Cares and us, we were able to ensure this homeowner was able to purchase a home. So they're a homeowner. So we're really grateful for that. For many years, we've worked with another nonprofit called Mid-Florida Housing Partnership. And so they provided some counseling and some other work. And then, of course, we work with St. John's Housing Partnership right now, who's been very responsive to
helping with inspections.
Yeah, helping us understand not only just the inspections, but understanding the construction process and helping us work through that kind of stuff. So it's a multi-agency, all hands on deck approach.
Well, you know, a lot of people don't always realize how much affordable housing is part of economic development. And when I talk about economic development, you know, one is the obvious. You're building houses, you're spending money in that community, whether you're buying materials, paying salaries, or anything else. But a big part of it is you're really stabilizing the workforce. You're taking a particular employee and getting them out of that risky rental market where we still see rents going up $200 a month in some cases, which, you know, if your wages aren't keeping up with that, you're really falling behind. So can you give people an idea of some of the employees, you know, what service sectors have you had people buying homes or getting repairs that really do, you're stabilizing them, you're keeping them close to where they're working in your community?
Yeah, I remember just before COVID hit, we actually worked with a restaurant manager. So a local restaurant manager, that's a big industry, the service industry, to help purchase a home here in Flagler County. But we do work with a lot of healthcare providers, educators. We've had some people that do different types of work in the building industry. But also, so a lot of the people are retired, and they were people that really served our community. Huge, and they were public servants. They were nurses, teachers. We've even had city commissioners that we've been able to serve. These people put a lot into our community.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, and those are all folks that traditionally have been longtime residents. They've been paying taxes. In some cases, they've been paying property taxes. They own the home. In other cases, they've just been working there for a long time, and now they finally own a home and they're stable. You've got a community group that helps you with your SHIP oversight, the AHAC committee.
Oh yeah.
What exactly do they do? Because are you ever looking for people to volunteer to help with that?
Well, we're looking for more members of the public to come in and help provide input, especially builders. But we have a very active and engaged affordable housing advisory committee, and their main purpose is to provide input to Flagler County and to the city of Palm Coast on how to create the regulatory environment that would allow for the development of affordably priced housing for all of these people that we need in our community, that we're trying to keep. And so they've been promoting the ways that we look at our accessory dwelling units. They're wanting us to look at some of the, they also wanted us to have an intermunicipal housing forum that we're working on, because they want us to all work collaboratively in the community to really address some of these issues in land development code and stuff, that we can try to be even more innovative to get this.
Because that zoning is one of the biggest challenges when it comes to developing affordable housing.
Yeah.
Y'all have certain, I guess either in the city or in the county, there's certain size requirements, or in some cases you have to have a 2-car garage, not a 1-car garage.
Yeah.
So those are things that if zoning can be adjusted, acknowledging that affordable housing is hard to do and here's what we need, the ADU part, you know, I'd love to see more of that. St. John's County has gone back and forth with it, and I think the big trepidation has been all the Airbnbs that pop up, particularly, you know, in and around the city and out at the beach, which really in large cases have a very negative impact on a neighborhood. So they're very reluctant to figure out how to do like an ADU that won't get turned into an Airbnb. I think you can do it with deed restrictions or something if you wanted to, but you know, when you think about the number of people that are looking, you know, little efficiency or one-bedroom apartments would be huge. And I run into people who've been in St. Augustine for 40 or 50 years, and they'll all say, yeah, I got out of high school and I lived in a garage apartment in the old city, or it was, you know, I rented a room in a house. You know, that kind of stuff is really hard to do now, mostly because of zoning. And I think we all need to take a hard look at, you know, if this is important, how do we get back to it?
Yeah, you mentioned some of the problems or some of the challenges that people need to overcome, that planners are trying to overcome, the different types of ADUs that can be available. I never even thought about the vacation rental thing that can also impact the cost of housing.
Issue here, yeah.
I remember hearing people telling me, hey, they're converting my unit into a vacation rental, so I need to find someplace else to live. So that's an issue you wouldn't even think of.
So that, I think that's, you know, one of the big challenges here, and I think it spills over into other neighborhoods, is you've always got this dynamic between rental housing and you know, first-time home buyers. And when you start pricing things out, those rental units that are bought because someone figures they can charge $1,500, $1,800, $2,400 a month as a rent, suddenly pushes the price of that house up to where it's no longer affordable for that first-time home buyer. And it screws with appraisals, because now that house is appraising, and so the guy trying to build the starter home lot next door is going, well, if I build this, it's going to appraise out at, we had a house recently, appraised out at $315,000. And I'm just, it's just 1,200 square feet. It's got a single car garage. And that's on the low end of some of the stuff going on. So there's really having that kind of community discussion. Sounds really great. Y'all are planning that, or is that?
Yeah, we're planning that, and that's something that the community members are really interested in, is just come create a plan. And they also ask the county and the city to start investigating things, fund sources for maybe a housing trust fund to help mitigate impact fees and things like that for affordable housing development.
Okay. Go back, give people again contact information, how to find you if they're in Flagler County, whether they are a resident needing help or if they're a contractor that wants to participate in your housing programs. How do they find you?
They can go to www.flaglercounty.gov/SHIP.
Okay.
Or they can call 386-586-2324 and dial 0 for the assistant.
And so we just want to remind people, if you're here in St. Johns County, if you want to be involved in affordable housing, you've got a couple different nonprofits that are working on a variety of different activities. You can always reach the Housing Partnership at 904-824-0902.
And the website is
www.sjhp.org.
We'd like to thank Bill Lazar, Executive Director of St. John's Housing Partnership, and Devrie Paradowski, Housing Program Manager for Flagler County. This has been First Friday, Affordable Housing Matters, a program on housing issues presented by WFOY and produced in cooperation with the St. John's Housing Partnership. Join us again Friday, March 3rd at 8:30 a.m. Thank you. Have a great day.
Who does this?
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
yeah, thank you so
Well
much.
done.
Facebook still live? We wave to Facebook?
Yes, we can wave to Facebook. Now let's hope I hit the correct button and actually save. I had Susan Johnson on from the Humane Society and I hit the wrong button one time. It was like, no! The whole thing just deleted. You couldn't even recover it. I know.
Technology.